The New York City Marathon is 37-year-old Chris Dofer's Mount Everest.
So this feels pretty good for you?
Yeah, it's okay.
Squeeze it out.
Even more remarkable, considering Dofer's lung capacity is 30% less than normal.
Maybe my body isn't built for the marathon distance, but to me, I need a goal.
So while he's often forced to walk to catch his breath, he's determined to train.
It feels really good at those moments, just to be able to run free.
Dofer was just 4 years old when he was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis, a genetic disease defined by a steady decline in lung function.
Most cystic fibrosis patients were kids and would die as kids.
In fact, when Dofer had a breathing attack in college, he could only find a pediatrician to treat him.
Adult clinics were few and far between.
Because?
There just weren't enough adults.
Because they died.
Right.
From the 1950s to 1980s, kids barely made it out of their teens. Now, the average life expectancy is 37. Key reasons why? Experimental drugs that don't just treat infection and inflammation, but target the disease itself.
They catch the disease early on and either prevent or significantly delay the onset of lung disease. Can you hear wheezing when you run?
Yep.
Exercise is another reason Dofer is still alive, on course to run his second marathon with one goal.
Finish.
Marathon day. Dofer's struggling, walking much of the way. By mile 23, forcing himself to keep going. After 5 hours, 50 minutes, and 12 seconds, he crosses the finish line. Revived by memories of friends who'd lost their own fight to cystic fibrosis.
Especially in the last 8 miles. Try to remember it's more about them than me.
Congratulations.
Eventually, Dofer will need a lung transplant. He knows his next 5 or 10 years may be his last, but he's not giving up.
After finishing New York, I'm just like, you know, I think I could do that in less time. I really do.
Grateful for every breath it took to cross the finish line.
You know, and since the discovery of the cystic fibrosis gene in 1989, researchers have been making amazing progress, developing therapies that may potentially correct that faulty gene, Katie, and hopefully address the root cause of the disease one day as well.
But meanwhile, a lot of strides being made with additional medications or new therapies, right? But running a marathon, Sanjay, one might think that this would only exacerbate a condition that involves the lungs.
It seems counterintuitive. It's exactly what I thought as well. But there's two things. Once somebody gets beyond the first few strides, it actually starts to improve their overall airway clearance so they can actually breathe a little bit better. And also just the pounding back and forth helps them clear some of those secretions, which is such a culprit when it comes to cystic fibrosis.
Really interesting. Yeah. Sanjay Gupta. Thanks, Sanjay. Good to see you.
Thank you.